Did you ever want to be a single parent that over-adopted 27 puffles and now is dealing with the consequences? Boom, reality. Did you ever want to be a toxic cheerleader that bullied the living shit out of everyone? Boom, reality. Did you ever want to know what it was like to work at Hell's Kitchen slaving away on the pizzas? Boom, reality. Well then, welcome to your childhood. This is Club Penguin. The year was 2005. A little indie movie by the name of Star Wars: The Revenge of the Sith just dropped in theaters. Bro, what are you doing? You're the chosen one. Oh god. This was also where a little game named Club Penguin was born of the same year. It was created by three absolute gods: Lance, Lane, and Dave. Club Penguin only started with about 15,000 active users. Everyone went absolutely bonkers to see what it was like to live as one of these little freaks of nature over here. And in just 7 months after launch, it reached 1.4 million active users to the following year. By 2007, a little company named Disney, ever heard of it? Wanted to snatch up this franchise for about $350 million, which is crazy. Of course, our besties Lance, Lane, and Dave over here absolutely loved that prize that they sold out to them immediately. Since then, Club Penguin has skyrocketed with the help of Disney to be one of the greatest online games of all time. Anyone can fight me on that. I will defend it. So Bronson, you might ask, so Piercski, what is Club Penguin? Is it a weird name for a gentleman's club? No, Bronson, you dirty little perv, it is not. That's wacky tobacco, my friend. Club Penguin is a type of game known as a multiplayer experience, also known as a massively multiplayer online game, also known as an MMO. My midget orangutan. Follow the player, me, creating a penguin, that, it would be thrown into a world with other players. You can meet up with some mates, just piss fart around if you wanted to. You can earn some coinage doing some activities if you'd like. To a lot of people, however, this game was a big addiction, to the point all you were thinking about was this game, day in and day out. During my childhood, everyone frothed over this game. It was a type of game you would not touch for 3 years, then all of a sudden have to play it for a whole month, twice a day. There was literally no in between. You had to play this game like that. I remember being so freaking keen to get home from school. I would literally throw my bag into the heavens to absolutely sprint to the communal computer that every family had. Always took 3 to 5 business working days to boot up. What was with that? Every family had that computer. Just to be able to sit on that computer after taking years to load. It's absolutely slam nerds in card jitsu. Black belt gang. The game would begin by asking you to create a penguin if you were new to the game. You get to pick the name, the color. I'm gonna pick red because this penguin is a walking red flag. We're gonna name it Shaniqua. Add your parents' email without permission. Now this little baddie can tear up the word Club Penguin. As mentioned before, this game has literally no primary objective to complete. You could literally do anything the game has to offer. You could literally just sit isolated in a corner in your igloo, just sitting there, rocking yourself. If you wanted to do that, you could. If you're one of the OGs like myself with Club Penguin, you would know snowballing is a big thing. To the point where every time I would boot up the game, I would always find some random nerd and I'd just start piffing snowballs at them, bloody like rapid fire. They would get really upset and be like, yo bro, can you stop? To the point where they'd just go into the next room. I would then follow them into the next room, continue to pelt snowballs at their face for no reason whatsoever. They'd get so annoyed, they'd go to their igloo where I would be waiting, where I'd continue to throw snowballs at them. Absolutely lose the plot and leave the server altogether, joining another one. Guess where I'd be? In that server, absolutely destroying them. They'd get so mad that they'd leave this whole game altogether. Boy, that was fun. The map is another great tool to use in Club Penguin. Although you can just waddle about, mate, you can teleport, nerd. Get on it. You can go up, down, left, right, diagonally. Did he just say diagonally? Plenty of activities to choose from. There are so many activities, oh my goodness. Earning money, aka mullah, aka cashola, aka coins, was the only way to really get around in this world. To earn coins, however, you can't just earn for free. You had to go work for it. Get in the mines. You had to complete a various amount of activities. And we're going to talk about some of these mini games. Sled racing made you feel like you were part of the Fast and Furious franchise for once. Flung down a mountain on a little red rig, just holding on for dear life, hoping that you weren't going to be the next one that would get their shins decapitated on a fallen branch, by the way. OHS, where are you? Bloody being flung forward, just laying on the ground. The only way you could speed up was when you'd hit one of these little ice patches and all of a sudden the NOS in your little Mitsubishi Eclipse would suddenly get a little jolt. You'd flick a button, your head would be flown back, going down like a little rocket ship, going at the speed of light. And when you win, look what we get. Oh, that's it. Ice fishing was another game I loved, where you could finally show off your amazing fishing skills, and you could finally update your Tinder profile holding up this wicked snag. Before you start fishing, this game would put on the best banger. This shit slaps. Whilst that banger is going on in the background, you'd be tasked to throw your fishing line into the ocean while holding on, going down, getting your fish, bringing it back up with not making sure you don't hit tires and random other debris in the way. That was the game. It was great. You could also play Find 4. Do you know if anything's gonna happen at all? I was gonna ask you the same thing. Oh, it's just Find 4, isn't it? It's just Find 4. Pizzatron 3000 was another absolute banger of a game where the terms depression and anxiety originated from. All this game had you tasked to do was to put pizza toppings on top of this dough pizza base that went from here all the way to there. Pretty simple, huh? Hell no. This game was so intense. When that Triple J Hottest 100 track came on, you knew you were gonna make enough pizzas to save a third world country. Just listen to this banger. Even Jay-Z likes it. The game starts off pretty easy. A simple cheese pizza with sauce. No dramas, we can do that, we can throw that together. But as you start getting good at the game, it starts getting progressively harder. Looks like we got a cheese pizza, 2 shrimp, 2 fish. Okay. Marion, can you get that phone for me? Thank you. Looks like we got a cheese hot sauce pizza, 2 seaweed, 2 fish. Okay, we'll do that. Marion, get that phone, I can't do everything at once! Cheese, hot sauce, 2 shrimp, 2 fish. Okay. See what I mean? It's stressful. Another popular game mode that everyone loved to play was Card Jitsu. This is where all the penguins came to throw down. It's a glorified version of paper, scissors, rock. Water beats fire, fire beats ice, ice beats water. It's a pretty self-explanatory game that was really straightforward, being shown in a card format. Every time you would win at a game and put a penguin into the ER, you would go up in levels of belts after a while. And when you reached the black belt, you could finally verse Sensei and be awarded a ninja mask. Actually, defeating this old prick was the hardest thing you could ever do. Would always predict your moves, would always know what you're gonna do. Every time you would place a card down already on it, being able to destroy you instantly. He'd put the opposite card to what you just put down, which is nuts. How does he know? It's not like he's a computer or anything. It's a real penguin, right? If you're getting bored doing these money-making activities, no worries, Bronson. We have plenty of other boring activities we can get up to. One of which was visiting the iceberg. There was a rumor that someone created back when the game first started where if you had enough people on this island wearing a yellow hard hat, jackhammering away at the iceberg, that eventually one day this iceberg could flip and had to be on the far left-hand side of the map, or else it was rumored that it wouldn't tip. Getting into the adoptive biz was also another favorite hobby that a lot of people love to do. Non-members could only adopt 2 puffles. They were the classic blue and the red. You could come up with super original names for these puffles like Lil Chungus or Marion. You could also visit the local nightclub where all the baddies were, where you could get absolutely slosh and get rejected left, right and center. You could act out a full day of hanging out with wife and kids if you really wanted to, because who the hell wouldn't want to do that? Or you could act out a heist if you wanted to. Put on the moose mask and head down to your local coffee shop where you can act out like you're sticking them up. They weren't gonna hand the money over, you're gonna make them into fish and chips. You could have a new Club Penguin relationship every time you'd log on. Or you could see how quickly you could get banned in the game after trying to type out as many swear words as you can. You could visit your own igloo, where there would be nothing to do. So you'd go over to your friend's igloo, where you'd walk in, barge in, and you'd realize, oh my God, what the hell is going on here? Realize they're doing the devil's work and slowly leave. Things would get a lot better if you were to become part of the local cult. And that local cult is being a Club Penguin member. Playing this game after a little while, admittingly, gets a little bit stale over time, especially if you couldn't score a membership. With all that money you earned slaving away at Pizzatron 3000, you could sprint to the local Kmart, to the clothes section, only to realize that you can't buy anything because it's locked behind being a member. You couldn't buy any form of clothing, you couldn't buy any furniture for your igloo, you could not buy anything for that matter. Sometimes being a non-member you can get free stuff here and there, but you'd find that every non-member would be wearing the exact same thing. Having to pay real money for a membership sucked chunk nuggets, my guy. Then one day, after begging my mum for months, she says those life-changing words, go get my purse. Shit's about to get real. Being a Club Penguin member was all any kid wanted to be back in the day. It was an opportunity to live the high life for once. To walk where only the privileged could walk. And speak down to those dirty non-members. It was a way to seeing what more the game had to offer. And when you were in the time where everyone was a big fan of this game, this was a big thing. Being able to be a member, you could get pretty much access to anything. And you would always compare yourself to someone who looks like this. Men's got the riz. To what you're wearing, which is literally nothing, by the way. You're butt naked. You're butt naked. You can finally buy that red cheerleading costume you've been looking in the catalogue forever. Finally start hanging out with the cool penguins and start your professional career in bullying. You could finally move out of that isolated igloo you were living in and finally buy this massive, unnecessarily big pirate ship that you've been eyeing off forever for literally no good reason, but just because. You could finally over-adopt Puffles, getting a total of 75 of them that you know you can't take care of. There's absolutely no chance that all these new Puffles you've just adopted will survive. But that doesn't matter, man, because I've just given them all cute names like Sparkle and Princess. The point of being a member was that you could live this life that everyone dreamed of. It was great. Club Penguin officially closed shop, shutting down their services on March 30th of 2017. The game was not making any financial sense for Disney. Pretty much everyone that once played this game had pretty much grown up. They couldn't keep up with the new trends and interests that the new generation demanded of. It just wasn't a popular game anymore and people started to forget about it. However, there are still large communities out there that still believe that this game should have its place in the world still, even going to lengths of creating spin-offs for this game, such as New Club Penguin. So there is still an opportunity to play this game, but nothing will amount to being in primary school, switching on with your mates, and absolutely pelting someone with snowballs. Thank you for watching, fellas. Fuck, it actually is just Fine 4.